Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Bang Shot DJs podcast with your host, Denny in the Shrine. Denny, what's good?
What's going on, man? Saturday, November 22nd. This is our first, I would like to call it, on the road episode.
We are, if you can see the video, we are obviously in a different location. So if you know who we are, if you know where we're from, there's a big storm that hit this week unexpectedly.
Bomb cyclone.
A bomb cyclone, they call it.
Yep.
Don't ask me what the fuck that means. It hit randomly on Tuesday night. And actually, me and Denny were setting up in our normal area to record an episode for this week.
Yep.
When we were about to press record and the power went out for about 5 minutes. It came back on and then we're like, oh shit, okay. And then it went out for good.
We tried to beat it.
Didn't
work.
I am still without power to this day, and it is Saturday, and my power went out on Tuesday night about 5 p.m. So here we are. So this has been an interesting time, to say the least. So we just haven't had time. Luckily, Denny has power here at his apartment. So shout out to Denny for letting me crash here, first of all.
Yes, sir,
and Marcus as well. Shout out to Marcus.
What up, Marv?
Have fun in Corvallis this weekend. So yeah, there's a little update for us real quick. Going into that, one thing I was going to do on Tuesday, but we're obviously getting a chance to talk about just a quick bit about Movember. We're not sponsored by them or anything like that, but it is the day we were supposed to record was actually National Men's Day. And this whole month is National Men's Health Day. That goes with men's mental health, men's physical health, everything like that. And obviously we love to, we're going to talk about the health of some of our big guys here in the NBA and today's podcast as well. Yep. But as those of you know, who we went to Wazoo, and so we have a guy named Tyler Helinski who sadly took his life. And so I'm just a big proponent of mental health for men. Men are the number one people for we got our bracelets on. I got my tattoo for Clink himself.
Yes, sir.
Threes up. But men are the number one people affected by mental health and actually are leading in suicide every day. And so just a friendly reminder for all the guys out there, just talk to your homies. You know, we're all here for you guys. And so I don't want to see anybody in the NBA. I don't want to see, people like, RIP, Aaron Hernandez, Tyler Helinski, among many different athletes in general. I know, especially in sports, it can be really hard. So a shout out to my best friend Laura, who wants to be in sports psychology out there, trying to help athletes in general. So just shout out to Movember if you can go donate to them just to help for a good cause in general. But like I said, we're not actually sponsored by them, but it's just something I believe in. So anyways, moving into the podcast, we are sadly not taking a shot today. Like I said, we are on the road. Just a hard time right now. So we're not taking a shot, but we will still be taking shots for the Sonics. Don't you damn well worry about it. So
that never stops.
So Denny, what else are we going to be talking about today?
Like a lot going on outside of NBA, and there's a lot going on inside the NBA.
Yeah.
Injuries, NBA Cup is in full swing. The standings are looking very interesting right now. So there's a lot to talk about. We're going to dive into it all. Matt, let's start off. I wanted to talk about it last episode, but I wanted to give it a little bit more time. Let's review this Cat trade that happened in the offseason. We'll talk about both sides, both the players and then the team's impact. Let's start off with Cat, Matt. How do you think Cat has fit into the New York Knicks team?
I saw a crazy stat that, you know how many 30-point games Cat had last season? 5 total 30-point games last season. He was averaging around 23, 24. It's not like he wasn't not scoring, but he only had 5 30-point games last year. And so far, through 1 month of NBA, he already has 6.
Damn.
6 30-point games for this Knicks team. He's been balling out. Man's coming back with a vengeance. The first week was looking tough for them, but they're just trying to find the rhythm, which we discussed in the last podcast about just, finding that coaching rhythm. But, man, they're looking good. And we'll talk about more about the standings in general. We have the Knicks at 3rd right now, 9-6 in the East, and you have the Timberwolves at 10th at 8-7. So T-Wolves technically they have one less loss than the Knicks, and
They have pretty similar records.
They're pretty similar records.
They're in different spots in the standings.
Yeah, but there's also been, talk about Julius Randle on. Well, you're talking about Cat first, but I think he's been a good fit. I still think they're lacking a little bit of coaching there by Thibodeau. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm liking it so far. Cat's looking pretty unstoppable.
Yeah, I've been impressed.
Yeah.
I would say that, going into the year, I was talking about how he was going to need to be more of a paint presence, maybe less of a floor spacing guy in that offense, just especially with Mitchell Robinson out. And the complete opposite of that has happened.
Yeah.
He's been taking advantage of being able to be that floor spacer. I think he's shooting around 50% right now from three.
Damn.
It seems like his efficiency from three continues to increase every year. Last year, he was a 40% three-point shooter. If you were to keep this pace, it'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, initially going in, there was a lot of confusion and shock maybe coming from Cat about just the whole trade. Just trying to find out, what the hell is going on. So I think it kind of hindered him a little bit at the start, but he's locked in.
He is locked in.
He's locked in.
And, there's a lot, which we talked about many times on the podcast, the evolution of that stretch five.
Yep.
And he is putting that to work. He's playing it really well in a system that has a lot of guys that, kind of similar to OKC, where they have a lot of small ball guys outside of Cat. And so it's fitting into the system, and he's looking good. Like I said, there's still room for improvement there in New York, but I think they're figuring it out. I think a lot of their losses came earlier in the season, but they're just on a roll right. Yeah, they're on a 4-game win streak right now, so they figured something out for sure.
Yeah, and been really impressed also by OG
Anunoby.
Yeah, he's really picked it up. I would say in the month of November. Like you said, they're looking pretty good. I think just a constant thing with them is just their depth. These guys are getting played 38, 39 minutes a game. If someone were to go down, do they have the guys to be able to step up and help fill that role? But like you said, Knicks have been rolling. But you're talking, you were just mentioning the kind of that stretch 4, stretch 5. We look on the other side of this trade. We look at Randle. Randle has really been excelling being that stretch 4 in that offense as well. And
he's also, his 3-point shooting is way up this season as well. So, I think we said in the beginning, it was kind of I forget, who did you think won the trade originally?
I think I was leaning more towards the Knicks.
Yeah.
With Cat. Yeah. Just bringing in that just that presence of Cat. But Randle has been playing just as well as Cat. He just hit a step back 3 and beat my Suns the other night. Oh. So that was really tough, and he let everyone know about it.
So Randle right now, I'm just going to read the stats right now for the season. It's 21.7 in points, which is 32nd in the league, 6.7 rebounds, 4.3 assists, and 50.2 field goal percentage right now. And that, I haven't even looked at his 3-point percentage, but he's been killing it. And yeah, so he's shooting 36.5 from 3 right now. The only thing that's obviously you're missing that Cat was better at was the rebounding percentage, but also you got to remember that they still have Rudy Gobert down there. So it's not like Randle has to really step up that much for that.
Yep.
But yeah, sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, you're good. I think he's fit well in his role on this team. Like you said, he's averaging 21. That's second on the team behind Ant. He's averaging 4 assists a game. That's second behind Conley. His rebounding's down, but like you said, Gobert, other big guys can help out. The constant thing I talk about with him is his turnovers are still a little high. They were really high in New York when he had to become more of a playmaker. They're still a little high right now. If he can bring that down, that'd be really beneficial. But again, before the season, I talked about Randle's lack of floor spacing. I think I've just forgotten the player Julius Randle is, especially with his injury frequency in New York. He missed a lot of time last year.
Right.
Kind of just forgot about him, but he's a great role player, great floor spacer. So both teams, I think, have been benefiting from this trade.
Yeah, and the one guy we haven't talked about yet is Dante DiVincenzo, who's also a part of that trade. Who's not flourishing like he was in the Knicks system, but also is because I think he got a lot more playing time last year with the Knicks, especially because of all the injuries they had. And so, he's playing off the bench here. He's getting about 25 minutes a night. Still impressive, but, he's only putting in 9.5 points, and he's doing really well on the defensive side of it, averaging 1.4 steals as well for the team. But a lot of buzz lately about Dante DiVincenzo being a trade piece.
Yep.
So I think depending on what the T-Wolves get value-wise for Dante, I think this still could work out in their favor, especially, getting some more pieces from Dante on top of getting Randall, who's been really good. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Julius Randle's second on this team behind Ant in their points at 21.7. Ant has 27.9. It's a good team. Obviously, like we talked about the standings, which we'll talk about more in a second here, but there's still lots to improve on still.
Yeah. And I know that, there's just a lot of rumors going around with DiVincenzo. You don't necessarily know what's right, what's wrong.
Right.
But I do agree. You hear about it. He was a starter last year. He had a very big role in New York. I think he's still very young. He's entering what we would say the prime of his career. I think he expects to have a bigger role on a team rather than coming off the bench. And so, if that were to happen, maybe it'd work out for both sides. Where DiVincenzo gets that bigger role he's been wanting. And then the Wolves can probably get some really good pieces out of that trade. Another thing is that Naz Reid just went down with a knee injury Thursday night, colliding with, I can't remember who it was. He collided with someone knee to knee. Haven't really heard much of a timetable update for him so far. But if he were to go down, that would give DiVincenzo, I think, an opportunity to kind of have to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I want to talk about not necessarily, I think it directly impacted this trade originally, actually. It's talk about another big trade that the New York Knicks made for Mikal Bridges and how that's working out for the Brooklyn Nets versus the New York Knicks right now. I haven't looked at Mikal Bridges' stats, but not as impressive as you would think, I'm pretty sure, right now. What do you think about that trade, Denny?
I think if you're an NBA fan, you've heard a lot about Bridges in the offseason. You've heard about his shooting form, how it's been changed. And then as a result of his shooting form changing, which, by the way, not really sure why he changed it. He's, I think, a high 30% three-point shooter in his career. Very efficient shooter. And so not really sure what the change was for. But it's resulted in his shot not being as effective. His three-point shooting is down this year. I think his scoring in general is down this year. We know his value on the defensive end, but that really, I think, has hindered his offensive game. I think his three-point shot has gotten a little bit better from the start of the year, but looking at that, just the shooting form, it looks pretty weird to me. Not necessarily sure what the reasoning for that was.
Right.
But then you look at this Nets team, and we talk about how they're going to need a tank. They're going to need a tank, but they keep winning. They've been playing really good basketball.
Yeah, they're 6-10 right now, which is still pretty low in the East. But like I said, I think originally in our preseason rankings, I had them at the worst team in this.
Yeah.
And the Cams of Brooklyn have been impressing me so goddamn much.
Yep.
Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas are absolute ballers. I think, weirdly enough, one of my favorite games this last week was we were watching when the power went out, was that Hornets versus Nets game. It was just a bunch of young dudes who are respectively looked upon as the bottom of their conferences, respectively.
Yep. And
so they were just high flying it felt like an all-star game shit. They're just lobbing stuff left and right. LaMelo. They're just very fast paced, back and forth game on the fast breaks. It was amazing to watch. It was a good game to watch in general. Miles Bridges and everything like that. It was a good time. But the Cams have been amazing. Dennis Schroeder doing Dennis Schroeder things, which I don't think he's an underrated player. I think Dennis Schroeder has been consistently just the most standard point guard in the league. He's never bottom. He's never in the top. He's just a perfect facilitator for most teams he's been on. And he's just been around a lot. So I feel like he's very undervalued there. But he's helping out these young guys quite a bit. And this Brooklyn Nets team is fun to watch. It sounds so weird to say, but they're really fun to watch, even though they're only 6-10.
They are, and Claxton just came back from injury too, which is huge for them.
Claxton's back.
I totally agree with you on Schroeder. Just a great floor general.
Yep.
Any team he goes to is able to just facilitate, get his own bucket.
And they lost last night, but they were in the game.
I think it was a close game
against the Sixers.
Right? Yeah,
a little Ben Simmons revenge game. That's a joke because Ben Simmons doesn't do shit. We're going to make fun of Ben Simmons all season long.
Yeah,
here.
Ben Simmons is a joke. Yeah.
He did it himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be nice to see Nick Claxton out there. the Cams plus Nick Claxton, Dennis Schroeder kind of facilitating that. Oh my God. It's just fun to watch. It's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Cam Johnson. I think he's had back-to-back 30-point games the past couple nights. Just really has got an opportunity to just step up his game. He was in Phoenix to start off his career playing, alongside all those great players. Now he's in Brooklyn, has been able to just kind of get that green light. He's a knockdown 3-point shooter. He always has been, and it's showing now. So, yeah, the Nets have been fun. The Cams of Brooklyn have been killing it.
Yeah, but going back to the trade a little bit, the Brooklyn and New York did play a back-to-back this last week. One of them was NBA Cup group, actually. And literally, the Nets only lost by 2 points. It was 124 to 122 in one of the games they played.
That was the Brunson game winner.
That was the Brunson game winner. And it's just like, man, you had to make a better – I mean, you won. That's the whole goal. But you had to make a bigger statement to say you won that trade if it's coming down to that. And it's just funny to watch.
Yeah. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Mikal Bridges all year, just given the move, the haul for it.
Only averaging 16 points a game right now. That's like third or fourth in the lineup. Obviously behind Cat and Brunson.
Right.
And I think OG's been better lately, but yeah, it's been crazy to see.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how all these teams, keep playing. The Knicks, the Wolves, the Nets. I think one other player I want to just talk about from the Knicks, who I just really like, is Miles McBride.
Yeah,
he's a great player off the bench. As long as he can stay consistent, I really like his game. But let's go on to the next thing, Matt. We talked about it early in the year last year. Unfortunately, we have to talk about it again. It seems that the injury bug has returned,
and it's killed me more than anything. If you listen to the show, I complain about Sam Presti's lack of centers. Well, he went out and got Isaiah Hartenstein this year, but he fractured his hand, so he's been out. You have Chet, who played all 82 games last year, including every game in the playoffs, but he looked amazing. But, he had this whole first year of injury that he didn't even make his rookie year. And then also our other center, the only other center that he's drafted was Jay Will, who's not even like a really big center by any means, but he's also been injured. And then Kenrick Williams is injured to begin the season as well. But then all in all, about a week or two ago, Chet goes down with a hip injury against the Warriors, which is a big game that we needed to win because the Warriors are first in the West now. It was horrible to watch. He just landed on his hip. And so now Chet's going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks. That's just my biggest thing. But the best news ever is that Isaiah Hartenstein came back early from his injury and started this week.
And looked really good.
He got a double-double, like the third person to record a double-double in their OKC debut history. So that was really awesome to see. Exactly what we needed. Very, very much needed. So I'm really excited to see him there. But going to other injuries, KD left, and oh my God, Denny, I know this is going to hurt, but the Suns look so lost without him, and it is crazy. We talked about it in the last episode about how KD almost every year comes out of the gates running with an MVP-looking season, and then this happens. But he should be back coming soon. He was only out, it said 2 weeks when he started, but he should be coming back next week, right?
Yeah, I think they're going to reevaluate him at least next week, but just unfortunate. And Bradley Beal's been dealing with injury too.
As he always is.
Yeah. You keep looking around. Luka's out, I believe, with the knee injury.
Been out left and right, but he's been listed as a game time decision every single time. So that's been weird to see.
Yeah.
But honestly, the Mavs have still been getting it done pretty well without him.
Yeah. I think Jaws still out with that hip injury.
Yep.
Who else? Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon's been out.
We've talked about him. Yeah.
Not injury related, but Jokic just got a new son, introduced to his family. So he's been out the last week or so trying to get that. So he came back last night, and then actually Nuggets lost to the Mavs.
Yep.
But
Max Strus is still out for the Cavs with that ankle sprain. I was just talking to you about quickly.
Yep.
He had that hip injury or that pelvis injury for the first 8-9 games, came back, and then got a UCL tear in his elbow.
Yeah.
So now that's going to be extended time. They really don't have a timetable for that.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking fantasy.
Fucking fantasy, man, dude. And then Jimmy Butler's been out here and there. Karis LeVert got hurt. He's been game time decision almost every game. Anthony Davis is always listed as a game time decision, even though he's been playing, but he's dealing with something there. Malik Monk's hurt. Andrew Nembhard's been out for the Pacers, which has proved very vital in a game last night. I can't remember who they played. Oh, was it the Bucks? I think they played the Bucks.
They did play the Bucks,
and I really wanted the Pacers to win that game. They didn't. Bucks are finally looking a little bit better than they used to, so that's good to see them there. Because you have people back from injury there as well. Because you had Giannis out for a little bit, and you had Dame out, and literally and Chris Middleton's out. Didn't even list that down, but Chris Middleton's out still as well for that team. But you had Bobby P being the only big guy on that team for a little bit. And you had with Robin Lopez a little bit, but so they're looking healthy finally. But just left and right, and it's just. And then DeMar DeRozan was out for a couple games for the Kings as well. Sorry, there's more and more fantasy. It keeps coming to my head as I keep
that's
on going
that's
through
how we know
these.
about most of them. Exactly.
Donovan Mitchell, game time decision all the time. My question to you, Denny, is there, because I kind of can think about this with the NFL, is the NFL had a lot of injury bug this season. A lot of people are blaming it on the shortened preseason that they had because they had only 3 games compared to their 4 games that they had. And so a lot of the offseason was shorter and everything like that because they added an extra game to the season. Obviously, it's a basketball podcast. I know the preseason works differently with the NBA, but is there something that the NBA could do or isn't doing or should do better that you think could help this happening? Or is it you think it's just freak accidents?
I think part of it is freak accidents, but I think the other part is a lot of these guys who are getting hurt are older.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they're playing as much in the preseason or just kind of in general over the offseason.
Right.
They might have offseason workouts, they're getting shots up every day, but it's not the same as game, being in a game, live game. But anything can happen in a game, but it's been unfortunate.
Yeah, that's fair. And just like a lot of the guys don't play the preseason at all.
Yeah,
a lot
exactly.
of those older guys, those vets don't, which I get, but
it's just hard to go 100% night one after not playing.
It really is.
Yeah, after not playing, really.
Every single NBA player does their offseason differently.
Yep.
It's like the Chet's was a freak accident because Chet was working so hard this offseason.
That was a tough play. Yeah.
He just landed on his hip.
Yep.
Like that's nothing you can change. But I think a lot of it, when you look at these older guys, a lot of it is just like stuff like their knees, like stuff that gets old, not freak accidents.
Knee or calf.
But then you have LeBron, who's just been doing it for 20 plus years. Yeah.
If you watch the starting 5 and you see LeBron, he shows his treatment that he does on a daily basis to keep his body healthy. And it is fucking insane. But hey,
you have athletes not even only in the NBA, but even in NFL and other things that always talk about how they want to take care of their body like LeBron does and how they want to, keep their body longevity just like LeBron. So a lot of people compare it to his training regime, which is awesome. I'm glad he's got to play this long.
And it's a commitment too. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
To have that, regimen on a daily basis for
you got to make sacrifices.
20 plus years. Yeah. You got to make and LeBron talks about that too. You got to make sacrifices, but you're doing it for the longevity. You're doing it for the career. So
this is why I'm not in the NBA. I had to make no sacrifices. Now I have to go for an MRI today for my knee. That's another story.
And my ankles are non-existent, but anyways.
We didn't make the league for plenty of reasons, but that's why we're here sitting about basketball today to you guys. Any other key injuries that you can remember though, Denny?
Not that I can think of, just kind of wanted to quickly highlight those. We don't like talking about it, but it's really prevalent right now. So we just got to at least mention it.
And I feel like it's important to mention these because it does, like you talk about your Suns, and it does have some really big, significant impacts on where the standings and how teams are playing right now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these are very key people on their offenses and stuff like that. So it's not like football. I keep on comparing football today for some reason, probably because the Cougs are playing Oregon State at 4 p.m. Pacific time on the CW network. Go Cougs. But the whole point is it's a lot harder to coach because you have a starting 5 that's so dependent on what you coach it to be. And a lot of it's just the next guy stepping up. But some of these guys are like irreplaceable when you talk about KD and Malik, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Even with Jokic missing time for that personal reason, I'm pretty sure the Nuggets had like a 2-3 game skid while he was out. Still lost last night, but Jokic had a triple double.
We don't have MVP ladder on here, but I gotta give a shout out to Jokic. I don't think he should have won last year, but it is insane how much that man puts the team on his back every single night. And it's obviously like you're talking about the Nuggets missed it, and I feel like I underappreciated him last year just because I really wanted Shea to win the MVP. But I appreciate the hell of that man. He does something that he's the best player in the league right now, without a doubt in my mind, and he's huge.
I swear every time I talk bad about him,
he does something.
He hears me.
He proves us wrong.
Because I was talking bad about him, or I was talking about him maybe not being in MVP contention because of the Nugget struggles.
Yeah.
And since then, Jokic has gone.
He dropped like a 30 point, 20 rebound, 18 assists, triple-double the other day.
Yeah, he leads his team in all categories right now. So, Jokic, if you hear me, I'm a fan.
I know.
Give us a shout out, please.
We're kind of all over the place right now, but we have to do a shout out to Mr. 200 triple-double, Russell Westbrook. I talked about it earlier this year. He was at 199 coming into the season, and I've been trying to watch as many Russell Westbrook games as I can just because I'm such a Westbrook fan. I always have been coming to the Thunder. But he sits alone, and somebody jokes on the internet about how they only give him the tiny-ass pencil for his paper while they give Will a fucking charcoal pen for his 100, and hundreds years later. But Russell Westbrook, 200 triple-double, sitting alone at the top. No one else has done it. I definitely, the way the league has changed, I think it's doable, but I don't like talking about Jokic's triple-doubles, stuff like that, but Jokic is not chasing that kind of stuff. He just wants to win. That's why I respect the hell out of him. But I think it's going to take some time before anybody ever joins Russ in the 200 club.
We're going to show our kids that photo of Russ and be like, he scored 200 in the game.
He scored 200 in the game.
It wasn't 200. He dropped 200
in the 200 game. Points.
Yeah, that's just who Russell Westbrook is. Let's keep moving on though, Matt. We're going to talk about all the kind of standings and teams in a second, but before that, let's talk about the NBA Cup.
Yes, sir.
It's been really exciting. I think it's been 4 or 5 nights a game so far, and it has been electric so far.
Still iffy on the courts.
Still, yes, I can agree.
I'm not the hugest fan of those, but other than that, it's been really fun. You have them on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Tuesdays and Fridays.
They've been on. It's been. I don't know if it's something different because you'll have these guys that play absolutely insane for an NBA Cup night, and then they'll lose to the same team the next week. So it's like, I don't know. It's been exciting though. It's been fun. Like I think that that Hornets Nets game was an NBA Cup night, I believe.
Yeah, because it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, because they're different. They're different divisions. Right? No, they're the same. What am I thinking? Yeah, no. So that wasn't a Cup game. That was fun to watch. But like just kind of talking about people are putting effort into it, and it's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worked in Adam Silver's part. The incentive, you can definitely see that teams are giving 110%, especially with that, the way it works. The point differential is crucial to be able to advance. And so teams are going 110%. They're leaving guys in late into the fourth to get as many points as they can. It seems like every night there's been really close games, really good games. You look at that first night, the Hawks beat the Celtics by 1. It was Clay's return to Golden State where Curry hit that game-sealing 3. You look at this past Tuesday, we saw the highly anticipated matchup of the Celtics and the Cavs. The Cavs were still undefeated. They were no more after that game. They lost by 3.
Yeah.
And then you even look.
We were watching that game in the dark.
Yeah, we were. We were watching that game. Yeah.
We had no power, sitting in a garage.
And the Celtics looked like they were taking it. They were pulling away.
The Celtics looked
Cavs were Cavs were able to make a comeback, but
it was nice to see.
Yeah, Celtics are too much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, been some really exciting games. The Warriors are now the first team to clinch a spot in the knockout rounds. They just won last night against the Pelicans.
And the Pelicans are now the first team eliminated from the NBA Cup.
Yep.
So even though they're 1-2 and they're still the Jazz who are 0-2, Kings are 0-2, and Grizzlies are 0-2 as well. But I think those are the only 2 teams that have played 3 games so far. Well, the Mavs have played 3 games as well. But yeah, it's been fun to see. But I'll take you real quick through the standings so far. So while we're on the topic of the West, yeah, you have the Warriors clinched 3-0 so far in NBA group play. The Rockets are 2-0 respectively in their group. Lakers are also 2-0 in their group so far. And then you have the Mavericks and Thunder battling up for the wild card spot at Mavs at 2-1, Thunder at 1-1. And then the second thing they look at besides record is they look at the point differentials, which is kind of huge coming into it. So you have like the Rockets are plus 49 on their differential right now.
Wow. Oh my God.
Even though the Warriors are in first because they're 3-0, but if the Rockets win their next game, they could have the first seed in the West there, which is fun to watch. And then you have the Grizz, Kings, and Jazz, who are not eliminated yet, technically, but they're all 0-2 in NBA group play so far. So keep an eye out for that. And then when it comes to the East, we have the Magic at 2-0 and the Bucks at 2-0, and then you have the Hawks at 2-1. But also the Knicks are 2-0 and the Pistons are 2-0. But they're technically the next up for the wild card because of differentials compared to the Bucks and the Magic, who the Magic have a plus 37 differential right now for that, and the Bucks have a plus 26 differential, which is kind of crazy talking about the Magic at 2-0 without Banchero right now, putting up those points and getting this group play. They want that bag. So the East is interesting, and then you have 4 teams at 0-2 in the East in group play with the Hornets at 0-2, the Pacers, the Wizards, and the Raptors. So
there's definitely a couple of groups where it's going to be some tight races to the end.
Yeah.
Which is just keeps it even more exciting. We got one more week of group play games. I think 3 more days of it before we go into the knockout rounds.
Yeah. My favorite game to, if you want to put one on your schedule, is the Thunder and Lakers. I think that'll be a very fun one.
That'll be a very good game.
Obviously, I'm excited for it, but it'll be interesting with Hartenstein because Hartenstein's going to be huge for that Lakers team because that's why we struggled against the Lakers last year in the regular season is because you have Anthony Davis and just a big group of guys. Well, Anthony Davis mostly by himself, but they have a way bigger team. We play a small ball classic team, so that game will be important. That is on ESPN at 7:00 Pacific time in Crypto.com Arena on the. Which day is that? It's coming up on the 27th, I believe. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Tuesday? I think that's Tuesday.
I think it is Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, no, that's Friday. Friday, November 29th.
Okay. Nice.
There we go. That's next Friday. So that's right. Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
That. Yep. We'll definitely be updating everyone on the NBA Cup.
Yep.
Very exciting stuff. Matt, let's look over the standings, both East and West. Let's just kind of bounce around and talk about teams that we find interesting. Looking at the initial standings right now, what stands out to you?
You want to go East or West first?
Let's start with the West. What stands out to you?
The Warriors are back after I shit talk them earlier this year. Earlier in the preseason and just in general, I did not think they had depth. I did not think they had pieces anymore. Losing Clay. And holy shit, they're proving everybody wrong right now. They're number 1 in the West right now. That's 12-3. And then my other big team that's a big shocker to me is the Rockets at 3rd at 12-5, right behind on the heels of my Thunder at 12-4. And those 4 losses have been tough. One of the losses was an honest loss against the Nuggets, and then the other couple were due to, not having Chet. So it's been really tough for us in general, but not talking about the Thunder much this episode. But the things that really stick out to me is you have the 6th seed through the 12th seed are all separated by a game or a game and a half. You have the Nuggets at 8th at 8-6, and you have the Kings at 12th at 8-8 at 500, and the Spurs are also at 500 right now. And it has been competitive games left and right. This whole entire West wants to play. The only team that has not been really competitive, or one is the Pelicans because they're so injury prone. They had 9 guys on their injury report the other night. And then you have the Utah Jazz, who just not really been, just haven't been there. They're on a 4-game losing streak right now. They have a lot to figure out. They have a very young team. Look for Larry Markkinen on the trade block possibly to get some value. I don't know if that's the move to make, but yeah, just kind of crazy how we talked about every episode, this powerhouse of the West it is right now. And you have teams like the Mavs, the T-Wolves, who were, obviously the Mavs went to the finals last year, and now they're technically in the 9th seed right now. And you have the Nuggets in the 6th seed and the Suns in the 7th seed. These teams that are just good. And I think the Kings are a way better team to be at 12th right now when you have De'Aaron Fox scoring 109 points in 24 hours last week. Yeah, sorry. There's my rant.
No, we're good.
I could go through this whole entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about some of those teams that you just mentioned. The Rockets. Last year,
insane.
Last year, Simon called them a dark horse team in the West.
He did.
And I
made fun of him for that.
Yeah, and a few games into the season, it actually looked like it, and then they fell apart. But they have had really good momentum this year. We talked about Jalen Green's momentum carrying into this year.
Oh my God,
we've talked about the play of Sengun. We've talked about the vet presence of Van Vliet. Guys who have really stepped up this year are Tari Eason and Amin Thompson. They have both been playing very well in their roles. Amin Thompson dealt with a lot of injury last year. He's healthy now. They both have been playing very well. I still want to see more out of Jabari Smith Jr. He shows stints of really good play, and then he also shows stints where he struggles. I want to see him be more consistent.
Yeah.
But this Rockets team is very fun. I really enjoy watching this Rockets team.
I do and don't because I've always had a thing against the Rockets. That's just my bias talking, but I really like this young team a lot. I love Jalen Green. Sengun has been awesome. He's kind of funny. Me and our friend Mike were talking about it yesterday about how they just need to give Sengun time. And honestly, me and Mike compared him to a younger Jokic, of how nobody thought Jokic would be where he's at right now, but he showed signs of being good and being great. I kind of see some of those similar traits in Sengun, and the fact that I don't think he's going to be a top player in the league right now, but he's showing that he has the building blocks to do that and make that next level step. And they're pretty similar game as well, just being that, big stretch 5 kind of guy. So it's been interesting to see. Also, it's been great to see my boy, the big Kiwi, Steven Adams, with the Rockets, healthy in about 2 years. I think it's almost been 2 years, full years since we've seen him. He got traded from the Grizzlies to the Rockets when he was still injured. But it's still nice to see him back. I could go on and on, but yeah, this Rockets team is really surprising me. Being third in the West is something crazy, and I think I accidentally ranked them at the bottom in my preseason rankings. That was a big L for me. I'll tell you that much. Tells you how much I know, I guess. Shit.
Hey man, that's why they're preseason rankings.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what I've been saying that about Sengun. I've been saying he's Jokic-esque. He's a triple double machine.
Yes.
He really is filling in that role more. It's exciting. I want to talk about the Warriors really quick. Before the season, Steve Kerr talked about this 12-man rotation that he wanted to use.
He's using it.
He is using it. I really didn't think it was going to work, but it's been working. I think a bright spot for them, which I did not think was going to happen. Of course, I love my takes. Buddy Hield.
Oh my gosh.
I said he was going to decline. I said he was not going to be that effective.
He's looking like the Buddy Hield of the Kings days that he was on. He's looking good.
He's second, I think, in scoring on their team right now. He's shooting almost, I think, 48% from three, which would be career high. This offense is just perfect for him because he can just be Clay. He can just spot up three, which is his most effective part of his game.
He's doing what they wanted Andrew Wiggins to do when he first got there.
Yep.
And which he has not lived up to that. But Andrew Wiggins has also stepped it up this season from what he's been the last couple of seasons for the Warriors. So, but you also talking about guys coming off the bench, man. Podziemski, make another leap. He's doing pretty much exactly what he did last year, but maybe a little bit better here in certain situations. Draymond's still a bitch. I think I wrote that down in our
you
thing.
Did. Yeah, I was gonna add. Yeah.
You know what? I'll talk about it real quick. Dude, just stop fucking playing basketball. It would be great. I think everybody would be very happy about that. If you don't know what happened, he grabbed Zach Edey's leg on a very non-basketball move. It's just, I know it's not even comparable to the things he's done in the past, like choking out Rudy Gobert and stuff like that. But like, it's detrimental to especially a man who is 7'4" and has this massive body weight that if one knee fall can ruin his career. And it is ridiculous. The man was a 2-time NCAA Player of the Year, and for a good reason. He's a great basketball player. And just doing that out of pettiness because you fell down, because no one touched you, no one did anything wrong to you, but you fell down and you just feel the need to grab his leg is ridiculous. So that really kind of ticks me off a little bit. how many times I've talked shit about Draymond in this podcast. I'll continue to do it. Draymond, you're welcome to come on the podcast anytime you want.
I think the frustrating part is that hearing him after the fact, he just feels like he did nothing wrong.
Literally.
And it's just like, dude, this guy's a rookie, man.
Like, he's a rookie. He's has so much potential, and it's just like there's no point. There's no point.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. The part that pisses me off the most is that nobody did anything to him to even entice it. It's just ridiculous. He literally fell down on his own power. He just missed a step and stumbled, and then just grabbed Zach Edey's leg. Yeah. And then Zach Edey said in the post game, he's like, "Yeah, I don't think that was a basketball move, and I don't think that's called for at all." So, and I completely agree.
Yeah, but besides Draymond, I've been impressed with the Warriors.
Yeah,
I think one notable thing I saw is their third quarter play. They're outscoring opponents right now by 25 points per 100 possessions. So they're really able to just get that comfortable lead, or they're being able to come back. One thing is D'Anthony Melton just got diagnosed with a torn ACL, so he's out for the year. Unfortunate for him. He was a good role player for that team, but it's time for Podziemski to step it up.
Yeah, he'll be good.
But yeah, Warriors, I've been really impressed with. Another team.
Rooting on their downfall, as always.
Yes, another team you had talked about, which I want to just talk about real quick, was the Kings. DeMar DeRozan, exactly what they needed.
Oh my God, he's so good. Dude.
Exactly what they needed. I think we were talking about this. They're a strong defensive team, but at times I felt like they were unable to score just for periods of time, especially late in games.
Walking bucket.
You just got the runner-up for Clutch Player of the Year. You have the Clutch Player of the Year from 23 in De'Aaron Fox. You have Sabonis. When Malik Monk comes back healthy, Keegan Murray's been playing well. I like this Kings team.
Dude, I love this Kings team. Obviously, I love Sabonis. He's my Zag guy. Shout out to Sabonis and dropping your new wine, the 1-1 by Sabonis. The Uno. I'm excited to try it. But anyways, I just love. Sucks with Malik Monk going down, but the next guy's always come up. Keegan Murray's been kind of took a little bit of a step back to kind of be more of a role player rather than being a spot up shooter like he usually was. But De'Aaron Fox, like I said, 109 points in 24 hours. He had a 60-point game and a 40-point game, respectively, the next night. And a back-to-back. I don't think anyone in this league could do that. Not a single person. Most of the stars in this league will not play back-to-backs like that or cut their minutes down in a back-to-back and do that exactly the same thing. Just absolutely insane. Domantas Sabonis, night in, night out, and that's what we're talking about. DeMar DeRozan being injured left and right, and it's showed. Now that they're 8-8, they're on a 2-game losing streak.
They need him healthy.
They need him healthy. Yeah. He's huge. He's an integral part of their team.
Yep.
Quick shout out to our man Isaac Jones. He's been
first career NBA bucket, baby.
First career NBA bucket. Isaac, we love you. Come on the podcast sometime.
Yes, sir, baby.
Congrats. I'm so excited for you to be on that Kings team under those guys, especially.
Yes, sir.
You couldn't be learning from some of the best guys in this league. And I truly believe that. So, this Kings team's don't let the 12th seed deteriorate you right now.
Yep.
They will be coming back with a vengeance. And I think they'll be easily minimum playing team, maximum. They could be a 3rd or 4th seed.
Yep.
Like they're that good. So I really like them.
One more team I want to just talk about really quick in the West. Before we move over to the East, is I just want to talk about the Lakers, but mainly I just want to talk about JJ Redick.
Yeah,
I think his impact has shown all over with the Lakers. So much more ball movement. JJ Redick was a very smart basketball player, very high IQ basketball player. You could see it in his podcast. He's very detail oriented. He had the opportunity to learn from Coach K, and I think it's showing. Some of the plays he's drawn up out of bounds, sidelines, under the hoop are just fucking insane, and they work. And I think there's a sense of respect for him in the locker room. I think guys actually want to play for him, which coaches for the Lakers in the past have not necessarily had. And he also has a strong coaching staff in Nate McMillan and Scotty Brooks. So I've been very impressed with JJ Redick so far. We'll see the Lakers can keep it up. Obviously, a big thing for them is going to be health, mainly for Anthony Davis, because that guy's playing at MVP level, so he needs to stay healthy for them.
Me and Mike were talking about this last night, that we still find it ridiculous that Scott Brooks does not have a head coaching job over half the guys in this league right now.
I would say, and Nate McMillan.
It's
crazy.
Nate McMillan, both part of the Sonics organization.
Yep.
As we know, we love the Sonics here.
Yep.
Scott Brooks obviously took the Thunder to the finals. this JJ, we love you. Thank you for choosing those guys, especially.
Yeah, seriously, great
couldn't
picks. Great picks.
Couldn't have gotten better any assistants.
Yeah.
Those, like I said, two starters. But yeah, JJ's been amazing. I think the biggest thing is he doesn't take no shit from anybody.
Yep.
He has a good relationship with LeBron already. So as a friend, he has a relationship with LeBron. But I think what I like is that I think LeBron's respecting him as a coach. And I really love to see that, because you guys can be friends as much as you want outside, but when it comes to the court, I think you need to let the coach do what the coach needs to do best. So I really like to see that a lot. Anthony Davis, walking bucket. We talked about him on the MVP ladder multiple times. He's amazing.
You talk about JJ taking no shit. There was a game where he benched D'Lo in the third.
Yep.
And then actually stopped. Took him out of the starting lineup. Put Cam Reddish in the starting lineup, and then actually those next 4 games is when LeBron got 4 triple doubles in a row.
Yep.
Not saying it was because of Cam Reddish, but just the change in rotation, the change in the offense.
I don't feel like D'Lo takes a game as seriously anymore.
I think he's careless at times.
I feel he's always been careless in career, but especially I don't think he's really matured much.
He was careless last year. He was just making more of the shots that he was careless with.
Yes.
And now the shots aren't going in. Mm-hmm. And Darvin Ham did nothing, but JJ's like, no.
Hey, Darvin Ham.
Get your
Talked about Rui taking a step up this year earlier.
Rui's been playing well.
He's injured been hurt right now. Yeah, he's injured as well now.
Fucking injuries, man.
Talking about Dalton Connect, who had a 33-point
My God,
game.
Man.
He slid. I don't know why people let him slide that far, and I hated it because Trent was right.
He beat our team in March Madness.
He did beat our team March
fucking
Madness.
Smacked us.
It wasn't even close.
No, fucking smacked us.
But I liked him a lot in Tennessee. But he's killing it. It was obviously a great 33-point game. Everybody's talked about it because that's what the media does when he comes to any Laker. Yeah. But he's not better than some of the rookies that we've talked about in the past. But we're not doing rookie ladder on this episode. We'll do it in the next episode.
We'll get to that next episode. Yep. Let's go over to the East. Yeah, let's go over to the East, Matt.
We can talk all day about the West.
Exactly. I know. Who sticks out to you in the East? What are you surprised by so far?
The Magic. Talking about the Magic, man, they're figuring it out without Paulo Banchero, which is insane. They're 4th right now at 10-7. I could say the obvious of the Cavs being 16-1 with that one loss coming against the Celtics, who are second with 13-3. They're unreal. They're talking about just their coaching differences. I think we talked a lot about in the last podcast as well. They've been really killing it. Just their rotation has been good and everything like that. But kind of some more dark horses. The Bulls, 7-10. They lost a lot. Like I said, they lost DeMar DeRozan. They're still trying to figure it out with Josh Giddey and Lonzo being back. Lonzo hasn't really taken a step back like he used to look like at all, but he's had a hurt.
Unfortunately, he's got that wrist injury he's been out with. Yeah.
The Hawks. We need to talk about the Great Barrier Thief.
Let's talk about the Hawks right now. Yeah, let's talk about the Hawks right now.
The Great Barrier Thief is what they're calling him.
Yep.
Dyson Daniels.
Yep.
Holy shit, man is averaging like 5.7 steals right now. Holy shit.
It's fucking insane. He's putting up numbers that we have not seen before. I think he's averaging like 3.6 steals per game.
Like how?
He is unbelievable.
And they're still the 9th seed right now at 7-10.
He had a stretch of 4 games with at least, I think, 4 steals. He had a stretch of 4 games with at least 6 steals. He had 4 games in a row with 6 steals.
Yes.
That's unheard of. This is exactly what the Hawks wanted out of DeJounte Murray, but DeJounte Murray has not had that defense since San Antonio. He has been playing very well alongside Trae Young. And then you look at another guy on that team that has really stepped it up, and that's Jalen Johnson.
Yep.
Jalen Johnson is averaging 19, 10, and 5.
We talked about the first episode of the season. He got a bag this year and for a good reason.
Yep. He has been playing very well. They also just got DeAndre Hunter back, who's been playing very well since he's gotten back. Bogdan is now healthy.
Yep.
So I like this Hawks team. Their record may not reflect it right now. Mm-hmm. They've always kind of struggled, but you still have guys like Okongwu coming off the bench, hoping for a little bit more from them. But Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels I've been very impressed by so far this year.
Yeah, I think Dyson Daniels steal went down to 3.2 right now, but still leading the league, I'm pretty sure. and Dyson Daniels 3.2 assists, 4.9 rebounds, and 14 points per game. Talking about DeAndre Hunter, 17 points a game. Jalen Johnson, 19 points a game. Trae Young still doing Trae Young things at 22.1 points per game. Jalen Johnson leading the team in rebounds at 10.4, which is he's a small forward. He's not really a big guy. Especially when you have Clint Capella as your center, not leading the team in rebounds, kind of funny thing to see. The rookie Russ Zashier.
Yep.
Zashier's been awesome.
Playing well. He's been playing well.
He's not necessarily. I mean, he's averaging 11 points, but he's not necessarily being you have all those guys that's starting ahead of him. And I think he's just learning every single day. You kind of see him grow, which feels really good. So I think there's just some time with him. Bogdan Bogdanovic never leaves. Great to have coming off the bench. He's playing about 24 minutes a game. He's just being a good facilitator out there for them. But they have a pretty deep team. Our guy Mohamed Gay. He's only getting like 5 minutes on the bench, but they have some good depth on this team for once. Looking a lot better than I haven't talked about the Hawks in a long time. It feels like all they've had is like Trae Young and Jalen Johnson the last few years. It feels like, and then obviously our guy DeJounte.
Yep.
But now he's in Pelicans and hasn't even made his debut yet this season.
Yeah.
So it's a fun team to watch. That's for sure.
It is. And so I'm excited to see what that team can do moving forward. I also want to talk about the Magic. You'd mentioned the Magic.
Yeah.
Franz Wagner has done exactly what I said he needed to do last episode. He stepped it up. He's been averaging, I think, like 27, maybe even close to 30 the past couple of weeks. He just hit a game-winning 3 against the Lakers the other night. He has been killing it. They are such a good defensive team and rebounding team. As long as they have guys who can produce on the offensive end, they're going to be all right. Another guy who's really stepped it up is his other co-partner, Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner has been playing really well. We've talked about Suggs and what he's doing. If this team can keep it up until Paulo comes back, this is going to be a really exciting team.
I think the theme of this is we need to go back to right now is the 2021 draft class. Cade Cunningham on the Pistons, number 1 overall. Jalen Green, we talked about the Rockets, also got a bag this year. Absolute boss. Evan Mobley for the Cavs, absolute fucking dominating big guy down there. Obviously, he's a huge reason why they're 16-1 right now. Scotty Barnes and the Raptors, even though he's injured right now, Scotty Barnes is amazing. Jalen Suggs, all defensive team last year. He's been stepping up without Paulo there. Josh Giddey now on the Bulls. Drafted by the Thunder, but now over there on the Bulls, he's finding a new rhythm, trying to find a new identity there. Franz Wagner, drafted by the Magic at number 8. Just on and on and on of just what a great draft class this was. And Corey Kispert, my guy for the Wizards, he's taking a different approach for the Wizards this year. And that's kind of talking about records, man. The Wizards are 2-12, but I love a lot of these guys on this Wizards team. They're kind of fun to watch. Corey Kispert stepping it up. You have Kuzma that can do something else. Jordan Poole's been having actually a pretty damn good year. You talk about the rookie Alex Sarr down there as well. But we were talking about,
they have Malcolm Brogdon, who's healthy now, who is a very solid guard.
Yeah, but going back to that Magic team, man, I talked about the coach for his possible coach of the year candidate,
Jamal Mosley.
I like him, dude. I'm obviously a huge Suggs fan, but the Wagner twins have been awesome. Just all of it. It's been a good time.
They made the playoffs last year. They look like they're a lot better than last year. When Paulo comes back, it's going to be very interesting to see how this team can do.
It's, talking about how Paulo scored a 50-point game before he went down. Like, God damn, this team could be really good. They're my dark horse out of the East. I'd still like to put it in. The Celtics are still the favorite in the East. No, even with the Cavs going 16-1, the Celtics gave them that one loss. Celtics are still the team to be in the East, without a doubt in my head. They don't even have Kristaps back yet, and Al Horford's been doing a pretty good job filling in there. And their depth is insane. Payne Pritchard stepped it up a shit ton this season.
Yep.
They had who's that 7-footer they have that's been coming off the bench?
Keita.
Yep. He's been stepping it up as well.
Yep.
What some more East teams? Pacers been injury prone. I'm not really worried about them, but I don't think I have much to talk about them right now. But talking about the Bucks, I think is a big topic of discussion right now.
To this day, I still don't know why Doc Rivers is their coach and not Adrian
Darvin
Griffin
Ham.
and Darvin Ham. God, that is just a horrible duo.
That's a Lakers nightmare right there.
That
Lakers
is.
hate both those guys. One of them was their coach, and one of them was their rivalry. Like, Lakers fan hate the Bucks right now just because of those guys.
Like you said, the Bucks have been stepping it up. They've been playing better in the past couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
I still think their main issue is just they don't have any depth, especially when their guys aren't healthy. When Giannis and Dame are out, they just don't have any depth. Chris Middleton hasn't touched the floor yet. He got dual ankle surgery in the offseason. So even if he does come back, I feel like he's going to be plagued by that. We saw it in the playoffs last year for the Bucks. They did not have Dame. They did not have Giannis, and they got eliminated because of it. And so that main thing is just health. Bobby P is my guy, but he's been inconsistent so far this season. Honestly, could say the same about Brook Lopez. Very solid player, but he's been a little inconsistent.
Dude, Bobby P was popping off last night for threes, though.
Yeah.
Me and Mike were sitting there like, Bobby P from three.
He's got to do it every night. That's just his issue. There's nights where he is very bad. He struggles shooting wise. And then just Gary Trent, their new addition has been very disappointing so far. Could be a solid 3-and-D guy. He's played alongside Dame before in Portland. Just has not been producing as much as they would like him to do.
I'll say it. I'm still disappointed in Dame, dude. He's not looking the same either. Probably because Giannis is really in control here, and I don't think he's just used to that, and kind of shows. Dame's still averaging 24.8 points per game, but he's only played 13 games. He's missed a couple games, I guess. It's not always healthy either, but it's kind of weird. Just a weird team. Yeah, the depth ain't there. Brook Lopez leading in blocks and steals. You have Giannis leading in points and rebounds, and then Dame leading in their team in assists. Giannis is still averaging 32.4 points per game, and he's just pissed off that he can't get help. It feels like. And there's been a lot of talk in the media of him being a trade target for some teams like the Rockets, for some teams like the Thunder. It's a bunch of teams that could, really use a star on their team, just put him on the next level, I guess. I don't think, Thunder definitely don't need him, but it would be kind of unstoppable with him. But teams like the Rockets would be an interesting thing. But it's just underappreciated.
I think ever since they won the championship, the Bucks, they just have kind of been on a slow decline.
Yeah.
I still think just a huge loss they had was Drew Holiday.
Yeah, continue to talk about it.
Yeah, we continue to mention it, but you
guys would be in a whole different conversation right now if you just had Drew Holiday, even coming off your bench if you had to.
Yeah, you've seen what he's doing in Boston.
He's insane, and you guys are lacking perimeter defending so badly, and he was a key piece in that.
Yep, feel like him and Derek White get every single offensive rebound that is available, and so I think that was just a huge hit losing Drew Holiday.
Yeah. Going on, the other last team I really want to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers.
What a shit show, man.
Disappointing. 3-12.
What a shit show.
3-12.
Yeah. What a shit show. Paul George just hyperextended the same knee that he did in the preseason or the first week or whatever it was. So he's going to have to be reevaluated. Now they're saying this guy, Jokic, his knee isn't being re-aggravated again. Just an absolute shit show. Got to feel bad for Tyrese Maxey.
Their rookie, Jeremy McCain, has stepped it up.
Jeremy McCain's been going crazy.
He's now the highest rated rookie in 2K right now at 83, I think, 83 or 84. That doesn't really matter because y'all suck. But you have Joel Embiid, who started 4 games this season. Tyrese Maxey started 9 games this season. Joel Embiid in those 4 games only averaging 19.8 points. Tyrese Maxey called a locker room meeting, and he called a meeting with the coaches as well. And they are disappointed with how Joel Embiid has acted in his professionalism and his efforts in this team. He's showed up late to practices, showed up late to meetings, showed up late to games, acting like he does not give a shit about anybody. And yet he says trust the process. The process has not worked. He thinks he deserved so much praise last year. He talks his shit, but he's done nothing. And he looked on. I'll give him his flowers. Last year, he looked unstoppable when he was on the court. Right now, nothing. And you're not going to win a championship. You're not going to do it. Nobody's going to want you if you're going to act the way you do right now.
And I think a lot of that blame has to go on the organization.
Yeah,
I feel
100%.
I feel like it's been like this since he entered the league. He's been kind of just handed, whatever he wants. They're like, do whatever the hell you want. And so, and it's just never, I think, been as prevalent. But now with the struggles, especially his health, it's become prevalent. And Maxey called him out for it.
Good.
Yeah, which I'm glad he did. Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey should be the star on this team.
Yeah.
And he's acting like it. And he's putting his ass on the line every night. Averaging 25 points per right now.
He's doing what he can, man. He's doing
1.7 steals. So he's on both sides of the floor.
He needs the guys that you brought in. Yeah. You brought in Paul George. He's injury riddled. You brought it, you have Embiid injury riddled. So just unfortunate for Maxey and just an absolute shit show in Philadelphia right now.
Kelly Oubre, Jaron McKee, Kelly Oubre and Yabusele and Caleb Martin have played the most games for this team.
Wow.
You cannot, they played the most. And Jaron McCain's been there for 15 games, but he's only started 5 now. But the most starts on the team is Caleb Martin. 14 games started this season so far, and he's averaging 10.3 points per them. You got to figure some shit out, man. I don't know what it is. It's just tough.
Yeah.
Well, when you have guys who are supposed to be leading your team just not be healthy and not be there, it's tough.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to just monitor the health of PG, monitor the health of Embiid.
Monitor the attitude of Embiid.
Monitor the attitude of Embiid. Yeah, I just see so much on Twitter now about that team. It's just an absolute shit show.
Shout out to Jaron McCain for little. Never mind. Just shout out to Jaron McCain for stepping it up.
He's been a bright spot for that team for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. One last thing I want to mention before we wrap things up, Matt. I just want to talk about one last team in the East. You kind of mentioned them for a second, or you mentioned, speaking of the 2021 draft class, I just have to mention this team, the Pistons.
Oh yeah.
They already have 7 wins. Last season they got their 7th win on February 7th.
Last year was horrible.
Yeah.
That's so sad to think.
Yeah. They got their 7th win in February, and they already got 7 wins this year. So definitely looking up.
I guess that's take the small victories, I guess.
Yeah. I'm a huge Cade fan. I think I talk about it all the time. He's a bucket, triple-double machine. He just needed to stay healthy, and he needs some help. Jaden Ivey has been very impressive this year. I didn't think he was going to be averaging. I think he's almost averaging 19 right now. He's
averaging 18 on the dot right now.
And I think what's been huge for them is their offseason acquisitions in Timmy Hardaway, Tobias Harris, and especially Malik Beasley. He's been shooting lights out from 3 as of late. They are now getting back Asar Thompson, who is a great defender for him. He's been plagued with injuries so far in his career. So, not sure what's going to hold in the future for the Pistons, but I just had to mention for the fact that they already have 7 wins, and they couldn't get 7 wins until February last year.
Yeah, and I think they're looking a lot better offensively in general. I think where they're lacking is on the defensive side of things. Yeah, their team leader in steals is Cade at 0.9 steals a game. So it's like almost every other team has at least a player averaging a steal a game, and so
I think they're hoping for Asar Thompson to hopefully fill in that role.
Yeah, both the Thompson twins were
both
good.
of them are both good. Yeah, good defensive players.
Real quick, you see what Jalen Wells posted yesterday? Jalen Wells grew up with the Thompson twins.
Oh shit, I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Oh, that's sick.
It was a sick photo of them in the back, in the back of a car.
Oh, that's sick.
Sorry, anyways, but
that's dope.
I really like their depth here coming in. Isaiah Stewart doing awesome coming up, and you have Jalen Duran and Isaiah Stewart as your supporting centers. I really like both of them. They're both young. They're looking good, and I feel like they could, step it up for them to get to that next level in the East. But they're pretty good for being young guys right now. I like Ronald Holland, the rookie. I think he'll have a lot of room to grow as well. And then just, Tobias Harris, the formerly highest paid 76er last year, now on this team. He kind of
back in Detroit.
Yeah, back in Detroit. He kind of provides technically the veteran presence here, which I don't think is kind of the veteran presence you want. So, but they just, I don't think they're in a hurry to pull the trigger on anything yet. I think they're like the Thunder team of the past, where they're just kind of letting their young guys do what they want to do.
Yep.
So I don't think they're in a rush to win, but they're definitely showing a lot more promise than they have in the past.
For sure.
But yeah.
Well, we've been trying to get back on to talk NBA. We've been trying for a week.
It's been a tough week.
The bomb cyclone has fucked everything up. But NBA keeps going, and so do we. We were glad that we were able to get on a little impromptu podcast. Yeah. We actually wanted to try to go live.
I was trying to go live on
Tuesday night. Yeah, during the storm.
Didn't work.
Hotspot was not working. Was not strong enough to get us live.
Cell towers are still down in my town that I live in.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's a little shit show. So thanks for everybody that's reached out. Appreciate that. Honestly, the only thing that can help me right now is just give this podcast a listen, share with your friends and family.
Yes, sir.
We're not making any money off this. We do this for fun completely. So we just like spending time talking about ball. If you want, go on our socials, go to Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm posting a lot more reels now. So share those, share them with your friends, repost them, do whatever you can. It just kind of helps us get an audience as well. So we just want to spread the word of the bank shot degens and basketball, and just that's all we're trying to do here. Just have some fun. So go on there, go rate us on Spotify, on YouTube. I will be getting some full length episodes of our video on YouTube here soon. Just not have had the best software to edit in time. I've been gone this last month pretty much. I've been in San Diego, North Carolina, now here with the storm, and then I'm going home for Thanksgiving. So it's been tough. We might be having a producer soon, actually. So that's good. I know we've asked so many times on this episode about that.
Yes, sir.
So
in the works.
Hopefully that'll help us out here. But yeah, go comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube, comment on Instagram, all that stuff, whatever works. Anything else, Denny?
Thank you all for tapping in. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of food.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll be back after Thanksgiving to get into the knockout rounds of NBA Cup and just roll on NBA.
Thankful for all our fans out there.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
it up.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
The bank is always open.
And now the bank is closed.
Bank is closed.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Peace.